about this thing that we're living through, in addition to the lawlessness of it, is the inhumanity.
Yes.
The way he treats federal employees as if they are just faceless bureaucrats, part of the deep state, just numbers on a balance. The inhumanity, the way he's sending out these memos, forcing them to justify their existence, terminating them with glee. You've got a guy at the Office of Management and Budget, one of the most powerful people in Washington right now, Russ Vought. The guy is a move. That's a big move. And he is on record saying that he wants federal employees to be miserable. He wants them to hate coming to work every day. He wants them to feel like villains. What kind of a human being says that? And what kind of a human being hires a guy like that to be in charge of federal policies? This is absolutely unacceptable. So look, this is the beginning of what is going to be a very, very important fight for the heart and soul of our country, for the rule of law, for the federal workers who we value, for the great public service they do, and as human beings and their families. And I am so delighted to be here with all of you. We're going to visit with many of you. We're going to head over to the post office after, because that's the next step. They're going to be trying to privatize the Postal Service. And so many of these employees that they are jerking around and laying off, and thank goodness the courts are telling them you got to put them back, you know. But they're going to keep doing it, because so many of them served our country in the military. You know, our federal workforce is full of veterans who have taken their service after serving in the military on to service in so many different important ways. We should be thanking our civil servants.
Hey everybody, this is Congressman Jerry
like
Huffman. We're in Santa Rosa, California today.
I am proud to stand with all of you, and we're going to have to do it a lot. We're going to have to do it many, many times in the weeks and months ahead. We're going to have to do it peacefully but firmly, and there's not going to be any quit in your congressman and the other congressman from Sonoma County, who's a fantastic champion and a fighter. Can I hand it off to my
This is a federal worker protest rally. We're with Congressman Jerry Huffman today.
And here it comes.
I introduced you. I got to introduce my local. So I also, Congressman Huffman just reminded you, we're going to hear a couple of speakers, a few speakers here, and then we're going to march around to the post office and hear some more. We got to make a lot of noise. So we are incredibly lucky to have these two guys.
Please hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed. We cover a lot of protests here on the channel.
So next up, Congressman Mike Thompson.
Here's another Congressman, Mike Thompson.
Thank you very much. Thanks for organizing this. Thanks to all of you for coming out. You know how important this is. And Jared is absolutely correct. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. We're going to be doing a lot of these. We're going to be doing a lot more of these. And we're going to be doing a lot more of these. I've cleared my calendar, and I'm going to be here with you. Jared's going to be here with you. We're going to fight this fight in the Congress. We're going to fight this fight in the courts. And we're going to fight this fight in the court.
What's up, Mexican G?
And we are winning. We are winning. The court cases have been breaking our way. We're not going to get them all. We're going to have to circle back and do more in the courts. But we've had some great
Congressman.
And in the court of public opinion, not only are people out in front of the federal building in a blue town like Santa Rosa, but we're seeing it across the country. People are coming out to town hall meetings to the point where the Republican leadership have told their members, don't have town hall meetings. That's what it's all about, hearing what your constituents are concerned about, working with them, telling them what you're doing, working together to make this a more perfect union. And Jarrett's right. These two guys, they don't care beans about any of us, about any of our families. They've got a whole different agenda. And it doesn't
Congressman Mike Thompson
include anything that benefits us and our families. It's wrong, it's immoral, We need to speak up, we need to stand together, and we need to stop this. This is wrong on so many fronts. Jared was spot on in regard to the impact this has on individuals and their families and their communities. But it goes further than that as well. Every researcher who was laid off at UC Davis in my district, researchers who were doing everything from bird flu research to agricultural smoke taint research to research on Alzheimer's, on cancer, on spina bifida. You just don't stop and restart and stop and restart research. This is a long-term commitment to make our lives better, to make our communities more healthy. When they laid off the researcher who we recruited from another country to come to UC Davis to do robotic research, the top robotic researcher in the world, they fired her. Now she's working in Denmark. Talk about a race to the bottom. We acquiesce our presence in that space to Denmark. It is just absolutely crazy. Veterans. How many veterans here today? Yeah. Thank you all for your service. 32% of federal employees are veterans. That means that there's been a disproportionate number of veterans who've been laid off in this bloodletting that Musk and Trump have perpetrated on our fantastic federal workforce. That's wrong. These people put on a uniform, they put their life on the line for our country, and they've been disrespected, their families have been harmed, and it's shameful. Shameful, shameful, shameful. And while I'm talking about veterans, how in the hell do you fire 107,000 VA employees just at the time when we're doing more for veterans now than we've ever been able to do? Closing down Social Security offices, making people go in person to validate their Social Security standing, firing 7,000 IRS workers. These people are terrible for our country, they're terrible for our community, and they're terrible for humanity. Thank you all for standing together. Thank you for everything you do, and we will win.
We will win. We will win. We will win. We will win. We will win. We will win. So this is a nice segue to our next speaker, who is going to speak to us about the VA. Dr. Ginger Schechter, there she is. And Dr. Schechter is a former chief medical officer and staff physician at the Santa Rosa VA. She worked with the VA for 17 years. She can tell us a little more about that.
Hi. Thank you to Representatives Thompson and Huffman and the North Bay Labor Council, AFL-CIO, for having me here today. Our current government has already laid off over 2,400 probationary VA employees, and a recently leaked memo stated that there are plans to cut 15% more by August of this year. That would result in the loss of over 83,000 more jobs. Veterans work in every agency of the federal government, and at least 6,000 of them have already been laid off. A federal law established in 1944 requires that federal employers give veterans preference when federal agencies hire employees. This has resulted in what Mr. Thompson said is at least 30% of the entire federal workforce being veterans, and 19% of that have service-connected disabilities. This means that veterans are disproportionately affected by federal workforce cuts. Prior to the current layoffs, the VA was already experiencing shortages. We were starting to make ground on those shortages. And as our Representative Thompson pointed out, now we're going to lose all of those advantages. Cuts to Medicaid hurt veterans, and 400,000 veterans are still uninsured. And if we lose Medicaid, that cuts off a lifeline for them. 1.2 million veterans receive SNAP benefits, with working age benefits facing an elevated risk of food insecurity compared to non-veterans. The VA serves over 9 million veterans, and I am proud to have worked for the federal government and served some of these incredible men and women. During my time in leadership at the VA, it was never easy to obtain new positions. It was abundantly clear that in order to post a new position, it was necessary to have the numbers to back up your need. And what I experienced most was that the need for more staff came long before new staff could be hired. I am telling you this because layoffs will cause a loss of jobs that are critical to the care our veterans deserve and leave the VA without the ability to hire new positions. The San Francisco VA has already experienced loss of jobs during that recent cut, and this resulted in 2 positions being cut that were dispatchers that were there to take calls from veterans in need of physical and mental urgent health care. Now we have a VA policeman covering those calls, and he or she was not hired to do that. Also, if veterans don't have timely processing of their disability claims, this results in more veterans becoming homeless. Now, with this possibility looming of tens of thousands of possible job losses, it is abundantly clear that many veterans feel that they are not appreciated. It's also creating fear and anxiety amongst your local veteran population. In fact, one of them stated to his provider here recently in Santa Rosa that this upcoming reduction feels like a betrayal from his senior command. Current employees also feel the loss every single day that they might not have a job tomorrow, and this distracts them from the VA's mission to honor those veterans, provide them with the highest level of health care so that they can improve their health and well-being. Lastly, the VA plays a vital safety net in the healthcare of this country, and the care provided there is specialized to the needs of a unique group of people who have been putting their lives on the line to make the ultimate sacrifice for our country, and they really do deserve our best. Yes. Yep. Now, what can you do to support the VA and support our veterans? Call your congresspeople and tell them you will not accept this 15% reduction in workforce. If you feel like you can't call them because they already know it, then tell your friends in other states to do the same.
Got Congressman Mike Thompson and Congressman Jared Huffman here today.
And co-workers who are veterans, you support them and are fighting for them so that they will retain their services at the VA. And if you know a person who works for the VA, let them know you appreciate what they do and that you support them in retaining their jobs. These efforts will go a very long way to showing the veterans and the VA workforce that you value their contributions. Thank you so much for having me here today, and please know that the people who work at the VA choose to work there, and some make it their life's work, and veterans will suffer because of these cuts to the VA workforce. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jeffrey. We have one more speaker here. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, because you need to point this thing right at your mouth. So we have one more speaker here, and then we're going to march around to the post office and get a couple more there. This is a really big day. It's really important that we say it loud and we say it clear. No more cuts. 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 So now, thank you guys. We're going to be doing that all around the globe. So our next speaker, Ileana Madrigal, works with me. She's the most amazing person, and she is going to talk to us about immigration.
Ileana!
Buenas tardes! Buenas tardes! I'm going to speak in Spanish first. So, mi nombre es Ileana Madrigal. Inicio mi discurso en español como forma de protesta a la orden ejecutiva del actual presidente en hacer el inglés el idioma oficial del país, empezando el 1 de marzo. A este presidente se le ha olvidado que nuestro país fue construido por inmigrantes para inmigrantes. Despojaron a los nativos americanos, esclavizaron a los afroamericanos y quisieron deshumanizar a los inmigrantes, en especial los latinos, que son la fuerza de este país. Entonces, estamos aquí y tenemos que luchar con amor y perseverancia. Los Estados Unidos no está y no necesita un dictador. Necesitamos trabajar juntos para que todo trabajador, inmigrante y ser humano tenga respeto y dignidad en todo lugar. Ha habido deportaciones bajo una ley de 1798 que era para tiempos de guerra, llamado Alien Enemies Act. Nuestra comunidad inmigrante no es el enemigo, ni son alienígenas, pero ahora hay que lidiar con estas deportaciones cuando la guerra no es contra la comunidad latina o inmigrante, sino del racismo desde la Casa Blanca. También hay que ser vigilantes que este presidente y sus seguidores de racistas quieren quitar la ciudadanía estadounidense al nacer en el terreno de los Estados Unidos. Le quiero recordar al presidente que está en contra de nuestra Constitución quitar la ciudadanía al nacer. La ley es para todos, aunque este presidente diga que no lo es para todo recién nacido. Los jueces federales están bloqueando en estas órdenes presidenciales, pero nuestra lucha está interconectada con el pueblo y la esencia de esta nación. Está conectada con los inmigrantes, donde estamos formando la historia y el futuro de nuestra nación. Les comparto un promedio mexicano. Nos quieren enterrar y no saben que somos semillas. I began my speech in Spanish as a form of protest against the current president executive order making English the only country's official language this past March 1st. This president has forgotten that our country was founded by immigrants for immigrants. They have been dispossessed Native Americans, enslaved African Americans, and now want to dehumanize all immigrants, especially our Latino community, a group that strengthens this country. We are here, we are not going anywhere, but we have to fight with love and persistence. The United States does not need a dictator. What we need is to work together so that every working immigrant and human being is given the respect and dignity they deserve. Just recently, this president has unearthed a 1798 law that was used during wartime, known as the Alien Enemies Act, in a blatant attempt to deport our brothers and sisters. Our immigrant community is not an enemy or aliens. We should not have to deal with deportations when the war is not against the immigrant community, but against racism from the White House. We must also be vigilant as this president and his racist followers want to take away U.S. citizenship at birth on U.S. soil.
This is our two
I want to remind the president that this is against our constitutional rights. The law applies to everyone, even though this president says it doesn't. Right now, our federal judges are blocking these executive orders, but our strength is interconnected with the people, with the ancestors of this nation, is connected with the immigrants who are shaping the history and future of the nation, of our nation. Lastly, I share a Mexican saying in my Spanish speech. They want to bury us, but they do not know that we are seeds.
And do something you can. Early on, I don't know. I'm the research and policy associate with the North Bay Labor Council.
Sí se puede.
¡Sí se puede! ¡Sí se puede!
¡Vivan las mujeres!
¡Sí se puede!
¡Sí se puede! ¡Sí se puede! ¡Sí se puede! ¡Sí se puede! ¡Sí se puede!
¡Sí se puede!
Okay, we are going to start our march. If I don't blow your ears out first, we're going to start our march. It's just around the
Redwood
corner
trees.
this way, and the post office is on the other side of this block. We've got a couple of really important speakers happening there, so please join us. And as we're walking,
shout it loud.
Please hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed. We got Congressman Jared Huffman and we have Congressman Mike Thompson here.
Yes, thank you. Probably soon. All right. Yeah, I see you down there. I think I got we gotta have some
You got buffering. Let me try cleaning it. Let's see if that cleaned it up any. We're getting ready to march. Yeah, we got two congressmen here today. Congressman Mike Thompson in the blue vest here, and in the suit who's back to us is Congressman Jared Huffman. We're marching against cutting federal jobs and privatizing the post office is what I'm gathering here. Today. What's up, Dory Lane? How you doing, honey?
I know my mom was like, well, I don't want to buy too many. Mom, don't make
We're getting ready to get marching, guys. They're going to march over to the post office today.
We want to use the sunflowers, the unifying symbol of resistance.
Okay. I just covered. That's all I do. So have a good day.
You do.
You know, you send it in Connolly's office. That's the best.
I don't know how this march is going to unfold here. I'm not sure. We're getting ready to go marching. I guess they're taking off up here. Let's get on the street.
Charlie. Rabid dog needs to be put down!
Get up here, they're marching down to the post office today.
We need to stay on the sidewalk. They'll find us.
All right, let's head down. We're marching down to the post office now. This is what they're really protesting, the cut in federal.
Well, they're the ones Exactly.
Here we go, guys. Welcome to Santa Rosa, California. They're having a federal workers rally here against job cuts and against privatization of the post office. Make sure you subscribe. We have another big protest coming up Saturday here at the Tesla dealership. Make sure you are subscribed. We're making our way over to the post office here.
Rabid dog needs to be put down.
Yeah, I don't know how many. It's a federal worker protest here against cuts. What's up, Corky? How you doing? We're making our way over to the main post office now, where the real protest is about cutting federal jobs here, the postal jobs, quasi-federal agency here. I would guess there's probably like maybe 200 people out here today. Yeah, I think most people that have Teslas in the county are laying low right now, or else keeping them in a garage. The great JK NoCal. How you doing, JK? JK's out there working for a living, man. Putting in that Schluter system. We got a hustle here.
He said, I want to reduce it with diet and exercise. And he did. He really did.
So now we're in front of the, coming up to the main post office here in town. So if you're not familiar, Santa Rosa, California is a city of about 200,000 people, about 45 miles north of the Golden Gate Bridge in Sonoma County wine country. We had speeches by Congressman Jared Huffman and Congressman Mike Thompson here this morning. So here we are in the plaza in front of the post office. Got the sun in a really bad position today. There's a lot of people to get in here.
So, and he was just sitting on his chair, sitting on his recliner. He's I heard you. The other room watching TV on the computer screen. Watching Netflix.
So we're outside of the main post office here in town now.
Well, that's some other way. A month after. town. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
The sun's in a terrible position right now.
You guys from up there? Are you from up in that
There's a lot of people here today. Saturday's gonna be jamming up at the Tesla.
Okay, everybody, let's wait till the rest of the crowd gets here and we'll continue.
There's a lot of people here today. Yeah, let's clean up the signal. All right, Ronnie. Hopefully that cleaned the signal up some. Okay.
So this young lady,
A lot of people out here. The symbol, man. The symbol of the protest. Hey, Holiday, how are you? Welcome in, everybody. We're in front of the main post office here in Santa Rosa, California, in a protest against cutting federal workers and privatizing the post office.
This is what democracy looks like. Come on! Let's hear ya!
This is Congressman Mike Thompson here in the blue vest. I don't know what's with the orange flag. I don't know. Not sure what that's about. He's got a Macy's hat on now. I can't believe how many people are out here today. And to save our post office.
Save our post office! Save our post office! Save our post office! Save our post office! How do we save our post office? Save our post office!
So we're lucky enough to have somebody speaking to us today with the AFGE, which is the American Federation of Governmental Workers. Can you hear me now? She's not talking. Yeah, she's not talking. Can you hear me now? All right, we got that fixed. Okay, so we are lucky enough to have with us, hold on, Charlie Escondido, AFG. He represents AFGE, American Federation of Governmental Workers, or employees. It's the largest union
congressmen for their heroic job in trying to protect us from these evil monsters in the Republican Party. So thank you, Congressman. I worked for the Social Security Administration for 39 years, 28 of them as an elected union official. I retired in 2012. I continue to represent for the union 12 years into retirement now, pro bono, because I believe in, the good work that these employees do. They serve the public with knowledge, compassion. They got a lot of heart. It's a difficult job, very technical, and they sometimes deal with a very unruly public, but they do it with compassion and grace, and I commend them for their work, and it keeps me wanting to stay representing Social Security employees in our local that runs from Bakersfield to the Oregon border, Reno, Nevada to the Pacific Ocean. Social Security is the most important social program that we have in the U.S. It's a hedge against poverty for millions of Americans. I'm going to read you some statistics. 73 million Americans receive both Social Security and SSI benefits. We serve 41 million visitors each year. The 800 number answers 800 million calls each year. We have 500 million interactions with the public each year. 9 out of 10 people over 65 or older receive Social Security benefits, and the Inspector General found that we have less than a 1% error rate. We are at the lowest staffing point we've been in 29 years. And the president wants to cut staffing by 50%. 1,000 have already left on early outs. These budget cuts are not about saving, taxpayers' money. It's about taking services and benefits that the people get from our government and handing their rich donors $4.5 trillion. I had to look that up about 5 different times because I thought that just can't be correct. They're going to actually cut what they're cutting from everyday people and then give their the wealthiest 1% of Americans $4.5 trillion in a gift because they donate money to these Republican congressmen. So the ultimate goal is to defund and destaff Social Security and then privatize it. Break it and then say, it's busted. They've been trying to do this for years. They have tried during the George W. Bush administration. They wanted to have everybody put money into the stock market. We know how secure that can be. It works a lot, but the market is kind of fickle. And our former commissioner said that the way things are going, said this recently, that Social Security will cease to exist in 2 months with the way that they're stripping it and taking it apart. The current acting commissioner for Social Security
all right, take care,
fired by the
I'll see you later today.
Trump-appointed commissioner because he let these Doge techno geeks into the mainframe computers, and they didn't do that. The current acting commissioner did not have authorization to give them the right to do that. He was told not to let them do that. He did it anyway, and the Trump-appointed acting commissioner fired his ass. And so then they kept trying to push her and trying to get into the system, and she just ultimately said, I quit. I can't do this. And Doge was so persistent, and the orders kept coming in, so she quit. And then they appointed Dudek, the guy that got his ass fired for breaking protocol and breaking the rules.
Protect my data!
Here's Congressman Mike Thompson and Congressman Jared Huffman.
Security information, they've got your addresses, they got your everything.
Data!
They can pillage, they're ready to pillage the system. And then they came up with this report that said they had 350-year-old to 300-year-old recipients.
So we do have two members of Congress here today.
That's what they came up with. So there is nobody at the high level of the administration to protect us and protect the system. So, doing what we're doing, protesting, write paper letters.
Yeah, it's actually a federal workers
Speaker
protest.
Johnson, to the president. I've done some of this. Let him know you want fully funded Social Security, full staff for Social Security. These people don't care about you. All they care about is money. So we got to keep the pressure up. And
It's our money! 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 It's our money!
so thank you very much. And keep on fighting. I'm proud to be here with you guys. Standing with you. Your name?
Thank you!
Hey, Charlie, good job. I just wanted to add that of those 73 million people who receive benefits from Social Security that Charlie mentioned, of those 11 million
I have no
are
idea,
disabled
Sean.
Americans under the age of 65. Many of them are veterans. Can't have that. As of February, and since Trump was reelected, at least 30,000 federal workers have been laid off or fired. We can't allow that. We've got to stop that. Okay, next up, we have the chair of the Sonoma County Democratic Party, who's going to tell you a little bit about what they're doing and what you can do. Pat Sabo.
Thank you, Maddie, and thank you for letting us have this opportunity to speak to everyone here. You heard a lot of the statistics, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm not going to go that route with you. What I am going to talk about, though, is the fact that throughout history, we have seen how change comes about. Change can come about through war, or change can come about through what we are doing right now. So remember that. When the numbers seem small, we keep growing and growing and growing. And to the young faces that I see and speak to on a daily basis, I know it doesn't happen as fast as all of us want it to, but it will, and it will happen if we stay committed and we stay strong. You know, one of the things that they're talking about, this DOGE, right? And then being a retired teacher, I kind of start looking at things and I thought, okay, let's go backwards. Oh, we got. Okay, so, yeah, maybe that says something right there. Good one. So, as a retired teacher, we know what is on the chopping block right now. The Department of Education. Does that surprise anyone when you put the
That's Congressman Jared Huffman, the tall one in the back, and then to his left is Congressman Mike Thompson.
That's an easy one to see, what the writing on the wall was. What I would like to do, though, right now with each and every one of you, is you are committed. It is obvious you are committed. You are passionate. So again, this retired teacher is going to come out. I thought of words and I was like, what hit me was outrage.
Outrage! Outrage!
We are enraged.
Outrage!
But we all have courage.
to go down that dark path. There is a bright path out there, and that bright path is each and every one of us standing up for what we know is right. You have heard your congressman representing you here today speaking. They are outraged, they are enraged, and they are carrying rage with them to Washington, D.C. So let us continue along that pathway. You know, as I said, a teacher, as a teacher, I always learn, bring a prop or two, you know, hey, what the hell. So I went out into my file. I retired in 2013, but I kept all of my posters. I loved them. One of the posters that I had in my classroom that I would put up on, I had on the wall, and I think it's perfect right now. It is a quote that was from Pastor Martin Niemöller in 1946, shortly at the end of World War II. He was a Lutheran minister, a German Lutheran minister. And this is what he said. First, they came for the socialists. And I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Now, this one's going to hit home right now. Then they came for the trade unionists. And I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews. And I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. We will never go down that road. We will never go down that road. We will not tolerate bullies. You will reach a point in your life where you might be the only one in a crowd and you see what is wrong going on. Make sure that you pull deep within yourself that courage that each and every one of us possesses. We have to stand together, we have to stand united, and we have to stand with courage. We can get rid of these folks. We will get rid of them because we know what is right and we know what is wrong. And the United States of America will always stand for what is right because of people just like us. Thank you for allowing me to Let's Lego! Yes! Yeah, tell you guys if you haven't heard her speak before, you're in for a treat. So, our final speaker, and then we're going to close it up a little bit. After we've thanked everybody, we have Jeff Parr, who is with the National Association of Letter Carriers, Local 183. He's fighting hard to keep the post office from being privatized. Listen to what he has to say.
Thank you, Maddie. Thank you all for being here. I work in this very building. I've been retired for 10 years. I'm still active with our branch. Every Republican administration, it seems, wants to privatize the Postal Service because they have no concept of service. For a little background, as you probably know, the Post Office was enshrined in the Constitution. It is older than the country. This July celebrates its 250th anniversary. It is the people's postal service. It does not belong to anyone else but the people. In 1970, letter carriers in New York were fed up for having to go to Congress to beg for a pay raise. They had the Postal Reorganization Act, and it was set up as an independent agency with a board of governors and a postal oversight committee. Congress established the United States Postal Service, your postal service. They have oversight. The president cannot unilaterally close the post office or privatize it. It would have to take an act of Congress, and these men aren't going to do that. There are 640,000 postal employees. 73,000 of those are veterans.
Please hit the like button, guys.
Where
Make sure you're subscribed.
Came home, put on a
Got
new,
another
new
big
uniform,
protest
they're
coming
still
up
serving
Saturday.
The country. They delivered 376 million parcels and letters to 167 million addresses 6 days a week, because we have a universal mandate. The Postal Service, your Postal Service, goes to every address for a universal cost of postage. We all know what would happen if they privatized. They're going to pick and choose. Rich areas that need to deliver, they'll get it. Rural deliveries, and there are 51.1 million rural deliveries in this country, will suffer the consequences. They won't get steady delivery, and they're going to pay a hell of a lot more. But thanks to people like you coming out here, we're going to fight that. We're going to stop that. And I want to let you know the Postal Service represents the country. It looks like the country. When I started in 1977, there were 2 women letter carriers in Santa Rosa. Now, I don't know how many there are now. A hell of a lot more than that. But 35% of letter carriers are women. Service-wide, 29% are African American. 14% are Latino. And 8% are Asian American and Pacific Islanders. We are the country. We look like you. We are you. We take delivery of the mail, the sanctity of the mail, extremely serious. Your mail is important. And everybody knows it's important. Businesses know direct mail is the best bang for their buck. You pull that ad out, you look at it. I'm getting there. These gentlemen know about political mail. It's in your box. You pull it out and look. And, as was just brought up, mail-in ballots. 13 million Californians voted by mail in the 2024 general election. This current administration has too many conflicts of interest to trust them with taking over the mail. What will happen to your ballot? They don't like you? Who knows? Okay, so this Sunday, the 23rd at 11 o'clock, the National Association of Letter Carriers is sponsoring a rally in Courthouse Square beginning 11 o'clock. Please come, you're all welcome. Thank you very much for your support. And if you have friends in other red districts or states, call them, tell them, call their Congress people, and let them know they don't want their Postal Service privatized. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay, we're going to round it up. First, I was asked to tell you all to see this man over here. He's selling sunflower seeds, and everybody should grow them so that it's a sign of resistance. This man right your hand. There you go. Okay, so this is the end of this rally, but it sure as hell ain't the end of rallies.
See you Saturday in Tesla.
Okay, Tesla and Sunday in Courthouse Square. So first I want to start by thanking you all for being here. This is an amazing turnout. Like I said, we need a steady stream. We need a steady stream of this kind of action. Again, this is one of thousands that are happening throughout the country. We need to be part of it. We are part of it. I also want to thank the speakers who spoke to you very passionately. Every one of them was very well versed in what they wanted to say to you, and we need to listen. And before they go, I want to thank our Congress members who are just sneaking out right now. Congressman Huffman and Congressman Thompson, unbelievably represented by them. So much. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to get over the shock of what happened, and I'm starting to feel some momentum, and this is the momentum. So keep it up, keep the drumbeat going. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
There goes the congressman in the congress van. The white van. There we go. Just like that, folks. All right, guys, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell for all notifications. Big protest coming up Saturday at the Tesla dealership here. You want to be a part of that? That'll be a barn burner. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell for all notifications. Thank you, Melody. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the support. This is a preview of coming attractions for at least the next 2 years. All right, get used to it. Thanks, everybody. Thumbs up or appreciated.